good afternoon to you, that there have been some fairly long queues today.
Fairly long queues. This morning we were at one of Sars's branches in Randburg, and the queues were extending all the way outside to the gates. We spoke to a branch manager who actually said to us that it's quite shocking, given the fact that there are less than 48 hours to file your tax returns, which is quite worrying, given the fact that there's such an influx of people coming in trying to submit at the very last minute. Also, what is quite concerning is the fact that there is an e-filing system that taxpayers can rather opt to use, but they are not doing so. They rather want to come into the branches and obviously deal with Sars officials personally to try and get their tax returns in as soon as possible. Did you
ask people why they're leaving it so late?
So a lot of them spoke to us off camera and basically saying that it's just been a busy year. They also mentioned that we've heard from various SARS officials that their IT system has not been refreshed in the last 4 years, which has caused a number of frustrations amongst these taxpayers, given the fact that they are unable to e-file properly. We spoke to a specific taxpayer who said that she filed ages ago, but she had been called in by Sars to submit her documents personally because she was unable to do so via the e-filing system. So a few glitches that these taxpayers are facing despite the fact that Sars says all is on board. And most of them actually said that there's just so many issues when they try to file online.
And a very hot day to be queuing outside the offices, particularly here in Gauteng. Having said that, once people were inside the building, was the process fairly smooth, or then did they have a long wait?
It was fairly smooth. I think in the morning, we got there at about 6:30 to 7, and the queue was already at the gate, and at about 9 o'clock, it was midway. So they were dealing with customers very quickly, and there were two separate queues. So one queue was dealing with people who just came in that wanted to start their tax return, and when others were queuing to deal with queries and various documents that they needed to hand in. But when we were there at about 9 o'clock, they had already dealt with 500 taxpayers. So you can only imagine what it looks like now at 2 o'clock. And various branches are dealing with this influx of people because people are literally leaving it for the very last minutes.
And some people, Heidi Giokos, were obviously in expectation of a refund.
Well, I think that's on top of everybody's mind. We actually spoke to a taxpayer who was saying that initially she was told she was going to get 54,000 Rand in her tax refunds, and then it dropped down to 4 Rand, and they're still trying to deal with that. But we did speak to a tax practitioner who spoke to us about how this year it's been really difficult to try and get SARS to pay back refunds to its taxpayers because there are a number of glitches, and this is what he had to say.
We've experienced that a lot this year as well, specifically compared to the previous years, that the tax refunds this year has been very slow compared to the previous years, specifically where SARS are, if there's a refund due to you, they will put you onto audit or verification process. So that is specifically, we've seen it this year compared to the previous years, much longer taking to get the tax refunds done. But yeah, that is SARS are using the Tax Administration Act to their advantage and requesting tax verification or audits so that they can withhold the refunds.
All right, provincial